Okay, so we are back for part 2 of the motion for summary judgment emails. Part 1 was published earlier. We're going to start with an email that's been exhibited by Wayfarer. It looks like Justin Baldoni is forwarding an email from a Jane Randall, who I don't know who that is, to Steve Saritz on the 16th of September. So Jane Randall's email says, Justin, so happy we got a chance to connect today, albeit briefly. I'm really excited that No More is partnering with Wayfarer in any way and beyond grateful as it relates to Microsoft and the movie. So I wonder if Jane Randall is from No More. Possibly, I don't know. Right. Your comment about not wanting to make DB porn is well taken. Appropriately acknowledging the balance between how childhood trauma impacts us as adults and not wanting to excuse Ryle's behaviour is really hard. Simultaneously, you want the audience to understand Lily's response to Ryle after the violence she experienced as a child without people getting frustrated and wanting to scream, "Why don't you just leave?" Not easy stuff, but I'm confident you, if anyone, will get it right in a way that makes a good movie with a strong message. I'm just going to make this slightly bigger. Okay. I love that you want to help victims with the proceeds from the film. For sure, direct service is one route, but you may even have heard it today, prevention, which is what ACTM really does, is where the field often prefers huge awareness opportunities like this one focus. In this case, the title of the book/film says it all. The intergenerational nature of DV ends with us, and a great place to start that work is with adult survivors of childhood DV, like Lily. There is so little out there just for that population. Personally, I love the idea of doing some research about this element of DV and A, using it to inform resources and other tools we might develop for adult survivors, and B, using it as part of a potential education campaign accompanying or in the run-up to the movie's release. There are so many ways to go, and so many people I can think of right now who could have been Ryle, who have Ryles in their family, which then leads to more Lilies. Mull it over, happy to talk through, brainstorm. Be well and have a great weekend. P.S. And I'm sure you hear this a lot, but your wife is beautiful inside and out, and I can just tell from like 3 minutes of conversation. And that's from Jane Randall. And Justin Baldoni's forwarding that on to Steve Saritz. Okay, this one is from Jamie Heath, dated the 31st of December 2022, which I think is the day Blake Lively accepted the role. So the email thread contains Jamie Heath, Justin Baldoni, Ange Giannetti, Alex Sachs, Andrew Caloff. Let's go down to the bottom as always. Okay, so this is a forwarded message from Warren Zavala, Blake Lively's agent. Okay, we're good on the financial terms for Blake. She's excited to do the film, no earlier than May 18th and in New York. We can sort through a straight to streaming premium and the other particular when the attorneys get back on Tuesday. She'll accept the no less than EP credit in terms of producing, but let's continue the convo next week. Thanks. W. Okay, Jamie Heath says, in writing. Alex Sachs then says, off we go. And Ange Giannetti says, fantastic job, everyone. Happy New Year. Justin then says, these are all on the same day. Jamie, you have done a phenomenal job. This feels right. Let's go make a fucking movie. And then Jamie Heath says, this has been a collective effort. Alex, Ange, Andrew, Justin, and myself are all passing the ball. Well done, team. And more to do, as always. Happy New Year. Okay, so this is an email dated 16th of December 2022 from Amin Mezian to Warren Zavala, Justin Stone, Lindsay, is that Strasberg? Possibly. Jamie Heath, Alex Sachs, Shyla Moore, Mitz Toskovich, and it's regarding Blake Lively's offer. Dear Warren, Justin, and Lindsay, I hope you're all well and about to have a wonderful holiday break. As the VP of Business and Legal Affairs at Wayfarer Studios and on behalf of Wayfarer, I'm pleased to make the attached offer to your client, Blake Lively, to play the role of Lily in the feature motion picture entitled It Ends With Us, based on Colleen Hoover's New York Times bestseller book of the same name. Wayfarer is very excited to see Blake's strong interest in doing our movie. Yeah, I bet it was strong. They honestly had no idea. We are beyond thrilled. I know that my team has had many conversations trying to pave a way for us to land on a deal. The main thing that we've tried to work through is the scheduling. We've been fast moving with many different parts and scenarios to try and accommodate everyone. As you know, this is not always easy, but here is where we are. We are willing to move the shoot from Boston to New Jersey to accommodate Blake. God, I cannot believe the demand she got to make. We understand, although the film itself is set in Boston and we were planning to shoot there, we will make the adjustment. In an effort to help leave room for the other movie, we can adjust our start date to go as early as the 13th of March 2023 and as late as the 3rd of April 2023. There's not a version of us starting later than that for us to meet our mark. We love Blake and we are willing to do many things to make this work, but our timeline doesn't have much wiggle room. Right. Okay. Do you know, I find it wild, right? That they're saying here we cannot go any later than the 3rd of April to start filming. Yeah. There must have been a lot of back and forth. And then you get Ryan Reynolds text messages to Justin Baldoni. Can you move this? Can you move that? If you can do all this for me, I'll tattoo one of your producers' faces on my perineum. And then suddenly they're not beginning the filming until the 5th of May. The control. The control is just nuts to me. Alright, so now we've got an email with Blake Lively's offer letter, dated the 16th of December to, okay, so it's Justin Grace Stone. I knew it was double barreled. Warren Zavala, Justin Greystone, and Lindsay Strasberg. Dear Warren, Justin, and Lindsay, Wayfarer Studios, or the designated production service entity producer, has set forth the agreement that producer is prepared to offer for the services of Blake Lively, artist, regarding artist's possible engagement for the role of Lily in the proposed motion picture tentatively entitled It Ends With Us, written by Christy Hall and to be directed by Justin Baldoni. Picture. One. Fee. Lender shall receive the sum of $1,750,000 on a pay or play basis, subject to the normal contingencies such as force majeure and artist disability or material breach. Escrow to be wired to representative escrow account 5 business days prior to artist rendering services for the picture. 2. Contingent compensation. Provided that lender and artist are not in material uncured, if curable, breach or default of any agreement for the picture and artist appears in the role as released, then in addition to the fee, lender shall be entitled to receive a contingent participation from the exploitation of the picture of an amount equal to 4% of 100% of the net proceeds, with definition to be discussed. 3. Schedule and location. Schedule and location. Artists exclusive principal photography services for up to 6 consecutive weeks during the run of production, plus 1 free rehearsal, fit-ins and the like, and up to 5 free post days. The start date to be discussed in good faith between the parties, with principal photography currently anticipated to begin between March 13th of 2023 and April 3rd of 2023. All services to be primarily rendered in and around New Jersey. Okay. Credit. So, on-screen credit. Single card, first position, main titles if there are main titles, otherwise in the end titles. Separate card, in no event in a size of type smaller than the average size of letters of any other cast member credit on screen. Paid ads. First position in all paid ads, including billing block and excluded ads, subject to customary exclusions, and in no event in a size of type smaller than the average size of letters of any cast member in such paid ads / excluded ads. Customary ties. With all cast members, for example, above and before title, name and likeness, paid ads, excluded ads, audio. Travel. Travel / accommodation and expenses to be negotiated in good faith. Approvals. Artists will have mutual approval over the following. A. Hair and makeup personnel. B. Any material changes over the role in the screenplay. C. Director. She had approval rights over the director, with Justin Baldoni pre-approved. And D. The co-lead for the picture, and within 3 weeks prior to start of principal photography. Producer shall have tie-break rights over all mutual approvals. Dressing. An exclusive single-star trailer, exclusive dressing room if at studio, customary first-class amenities, MFN with all cast. Conditions precedent. Producers' obligations to artists hereunder shall be subject to the satisfaction of the following. A. Artists qualifying for cast and other insurance, which may include essential element insurance. And B. Full execution by artist designated services corporation, the lender, and producer of an agreement in a form reasonably acceptable to all parties. Once we reach an agreement on the above terms, we will be happy to distribute a long-form agreement incorporating the terms herein and other standard terms and conditions to be negotiated in good faith. Okay. Right. Okay. So this is an email between Lizzie Talbot, Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath. Let's see. Oh, I think this is Justin Baldoni's exhibit. Okay. Right, so Justin Baldoni on the 4th of May 2023 writes, please note, the way these are shot and what is shown will be a collaboration between me and Blake. First, love scene. the vision. I have to make that a bit smaller because it's too big. Should be passionate, sexy. Should be in a way that shows a glimpse into their power dynamic. She's in charge and then he takes over. And yet in real life, it was the complete opposite. Two strong personalities coming together as one. In terms of sex and what is shown, we should see two naked bodies in various positions, only flattering ones Blake is comfortable with. Her choice, her on top, him seated and holding her. Him on top, all sensual and beautiful, no nipple. We should be able to go wide for orientation, but the majority of the work should be in close-ups and 50-50s. I imagine side boob and outline of butt in close-ups, if she is comfortable. I am fine showing my butt. Female gaze. There will be pelvis movement, but no orgasm, no oral sex. Hands should be able to caress various body parts. If Blake is comfortable showing Ryle kissing her belly and then leaving frame for a moment and staying on her face, I think that's something women would like to see, but also fine not doing it, as I know oral sex was something off limits, but wasn't sure about implied oral sex. The ask, action. Simulated vaginal sex in a variety of positions, missionary, reverse missionary, seated. Inferred oral sex, off camera, kissing down body, leaving frame and staying on Blake's face, no orgasm. Hands caressing body, no contact with breasts or groin. Nudity, side breast, no nipple. Naked back, outline of buttocks. Vegas. This scene is about friendship. It's a consumption of their marriage and their relationship. Fun, silly, playful. The goal is to choreograph in a way that keeps Blake's clothes on as much as possible. Sex with pelvis movements in positions that work with keeping her dress on. Maybe top of dress slides down and we see some bare back. Dress would be hiked up, so may see outline of butt. Hard for me to imagine without seeing frame or how dress moves. Hands groping, and I'm okay showing rear as I don't know any other way to make love in an Elvis costume. That's crazy. No nipple, no orgasm. Fun, intimate, innocent. Right. Frittata. Morning sex that doesn't happen. No nudity, tops off, tops would be off, kissing around body. We're about to have sex when frittata happens. More about sensuality than sex. Onesies make out. They come in drunk, making out in onesies. Less about seeing bodies and sex, more about onesies coming off. I'm fine if Blake wants to just take mine off and we make it playful. Okay. So then Lizzie Talbot replies on 4th of May. I want Blake to have Justin's words directly. I've just added some clarification of what the ask is below. Taken out grope and put in caress. If this is okay, I will do it for the rest of the scenes below too. Thanks, Lizzie. Okay, that sounds perfectly... I mean, that's what an intimacy coordinator does. It just plays around with the movements, the words, etc. So, okay, so this is the next exhibit, and it's a follow-on of the emails we've literally just read. So I'm just going to skip past the ones we've already read. Okay, so we've got the Thursday 4th. So, and obviously Justin Baldoni's vision of the sex scenes for the first love scene, the Vegas frittata, and the onesies makeout, etc. I'm just going to read the notes that have been the highlighted. Yeah, because she's just added some highlighted notes. So on the ask, she's added inferred oral sex off camera, kissing down body, leaving frame, a stain on Blake's face, no orgasm. And then nudity, onesie removed to underwear. And then, so that's the onesies make out the vision. And then the morning after the casserole debacle, this is supposedly the first situation of domestic violence. Although, to be honest, it looked, both in the book and the film, in fairness, it wasn't that the film was a problem, it was definitely in the book as well. It did strike me as just an accident where he burnt his hand and kind of had a reflex, and tried to, kind of move his hand away and, kind of lashed it out to the side to get it away from the hot oven tray. And her face, she was in the wrong place, wrong time. That scene could have so easily have been chalked up to that, as opposed to, he did not look like he was intentionally trying to hit her because he was angry with her. So that scene's always annoyed me. Okay, so she's added in the nudity for the casserole section, PJs removed down to underwear. The rest is pretty much the same. And then sticking on May 4th, Jamie Heath then writes, Lizzie, this looks perfect. Justin, please take a look. This is exactly what we need. It serves two purposes. First, Justin, your vision and words are great for Blake to read. Well, that would mean Blake would have to read something. And second, Lizzie's clarity is super helpful because they are listed more as a legal doc will include, and it's easy to digest. I'll send in the morning. Lizzie Talbot writes, great. Once we're done with all the legal stuff, we can get to the creative part. Wonderful. Thank you, Lizzie. I appreciate all that you're doing to help us get through all of this. And yes, creative. Can't wait. Justin then writes, hey, one random thought is most sex scenes have some sort of breast touching and they can be used as a way to cover the breast as well. I worry about this becoming too PG and disappointing the readers. I feel so super awkward even writing that, but the book is so much sexier than what we are doing. It may just be worth that conversation of what she's comfortable with versus it actually coming from me. So I wonder if that should be something that you discussed versus put in writing. And then Lizzie says, hey, yep, completely understand. Happy to have whatever conversations required to get clarity so both of you are confident about the level of contact during the scenes. It's so hard to do this work tentatively. We can leave it at body caressing, and I'll get more details if she and I chat. Okay, so this is from Wayfarer. Dated the 14th of June 2023. Justin Baldoni. It ends with us. Dear crew, it is with a heavy heart that we share this news with you today. Due to the ongoing WGA strike and the lost days we have experienced due to picketing, we must make the difficult decision to temporarily shut down production. We want to express our deepest gratitude for your incredible patience and unwavering dedication throughout this challenging period. Working with each and every one of you has been an absolute privilege and a source of immense joy. The film we have shot together thus far is beautiful and a testament to all of your hard work and the magic we collectively created. Also, there have been many people who started this journey and who have contributed greatly to this production who are no longer on this crew list. We want to take a moment to acknowledge them, as we wouldn't have made it this far without them. And this sounds like he might be referring to the is it the two female crew members who Blake had fired? While we must pause for now, we want to assure you that this is not the end. The story we set out to tell will continue at a later date and we will come back stronger than ever. Oh, if only he had Stephanie Jones's psychic to tell him, no, you won't. The journey may have been temporarily disrupted, but our shared vision and commitment remain unwavering. Until we gather again, please take care of yourselves. We will overcome this hurdle together, and the beauty we have captured on film will be shared with the world. It will get finished, it will get released, and God willing, will change lives. With heartfelt appreciation, Jamie, Justin, and Wayfarer Studios. Okay. I mean, even though they were going through hell and had been for months at this time, I admire the optimism that somehow that they were going to come back stronger. Clearly, that did not happen at all. Bless them. Right, okay, so the next one is a email thread with Alex Sachs, Todd Black, who was one of the, I think he was a producer that was on Deadpool that Blake Lively brought over as part of her 17-point demands. Justin Baldoni, Ange Giannetti, Jamie Heath, and Chris Sargent. Okay, so I'm going to go down the bottom as always. What date is this? I'm not going to read all of this. I don't know what I will. Sod it. Okay, so on 27th of December, I have to make this bigger because I cannot see this. Right, okay. 27th of December, Justin Baldoni writes, "Hey team, attached is a revised script with below notes, caveats in bold. This is not final as there are things we need to discuss and then implement. Also, I've added in Chris Sargent, RAD, here to have eyes on this so he can digest at the same time as all of you. I've spent the better part of the last few days trying to figure this out. Everyone knows how I feel about all of this and how angry I am that Blake has taken over our film and somehow rewrote a movie we spent years developing, writing, and funding. So yes, I'm furious and sad, but I will continue to get back up with a goal of getting us to the finish line. I have come to terms with the fact that the only way out is through. I'm waving the white flag and submitting. I'm going to give her 98% of what she wants. I'm sure none of us have the energy to fight anymore. The team who's been working their ass off needs a shooting script on January 2nd. So here's where we are. There are minor things I did to each scene. Some I made notes on and tiny ones I didn't. Most of what I touched is below. The big issues are going to be intimacy, how and what are we shooting for those scenes, and how this script is going to be presented to her and with what notes. To that end, we all need to get on the phone and talk through it, as the risk of something innocuous or not meeting her standards could and would very likely be used against me, as it already has. And creativity is impossible in an environment shrouded in fear. By now, we all know what she is capable of. The rest of the notes below need to walk through together. We need to walk through together. Just let me know when we can all hop on a Zoom tomorrow. I'm hopeful we can find a path forward together, but we must now act as one. Justin." So let's just see. I think it'd be a good idea to get an insight into how some of this was changed and amended. Removed rewrites on funeral scene which was already shot. Scene 11. Adjusted line Ryle saying pretty please, not in character, and removed subsequent maraschino cherry line. Ryan Reynolds put that maraschino cherry line in. Removed no kissing on the mouth line per Sony. Consider another alt for prostitute. Aren't always pretty. Need line from book. Removed I want to take you. Put back in I want to have sex with you. Kept the rest. We can do an alt and try on the day. Adjusted line after how many women has this worked on? Added DR line in response to carbs. F27. I don't know what some of these terms mean, by the way. Omit high tracking shots, aerial work already done. Changed karaoke to Lucky Strike, our location. Lily and Ryle play pool in scene can also take place at booth while Marshall and Alyssa bowl. If she wants to rewrite all of this for Lucky Strike, needs to happen this week. Leaving Alyssa and Marshall in scene, but will be completely schedule dependent. Very high probability this will not work, and scene will be just Lily and Ryle walking up to her apartment. We haven't been able to make schedule work for both actors and no time. Be prepared for the two of them to not be in scene, but leaving in unit, we know more. I think that's supposed to be supposed to mean leaving in until we know more. Removed clucking line. Removed clucking line. What? I've never heard someone say that. No, I haven't. I have no idea what a clucking line is. Removed added establishing shot. No money for DigiBuild. We don't have a plate of lily blooms. Need to discuss storyboards and intimacy here. Also need to discuss shirtless vs Tank as she took out him shirtless. I don't think the no sex line works as it was removed before per Sony note. We'll be first to go in edit, but I guess we'll keep in for unity. Took one line out after to shorten. Need to know what Ange wants to do here. Halloween moment will be dependent on Chris AD and if he thinks we can do it with hair and makeup. Leaving it in for discussion. Need to discuss Ange remove the no kissing scene on the mouth line. Don't think we need dialogue here. She will fight back. Added line back about surgery and conjoined twins. This is an editorial note we need. Removed hospital scene again. Is that the hospital scene where she was wearing those crystal Louboutins? Added I love you too. Back into the loft morning scene. I'm happy to go back in edit and take a look at hospital scene per her request, but I need to shoot I love you in this scene. New mirror moment will be time permitting with HMU at Lily's apartment. Need to discuss intimacy here. My boards had a fun moment between the two of them, coming in drunk and being playful. I imagine this is what made her say the boards were cheap. Oh. Intimacy. Not sure what to do here. See note. She moved this scene from the bedroom into the kitchen now, which takes away from the intimacy and how I was planning on shooting it. I wanted her to run into the kitchen from another area to sell the misdirect that it was an accident. She has removed kissing, which is fine in the end. The last thing I want to do is kiss this woman. But the point is, they need to get distracted enough to forget about the oven. And now with dialogue here, it changes from a timeless moment of two people about to make love to dialogue that brings us into the realm of time. Not sure what to do on this scene. Another thing to note here is the final shot of this scene is not scripted, but is supposed to by Ryle carrying her away, which is symbolic for her losing control in the relationship at this moment. I foresee her not wanting to do this, which puts us at an impasse with how I want to shoot the scene, not sure how to proceed. Left as is with her new dialogue. Remove line he wouldn't have in the book Dad did hurt her. I'd rather make it less definitive. Removed the whole comedy bit at end, ripped neurosurgeon thing. I understand she is trying to lean into this, which she has been doing since we started, but this will be the first to go in the edit, and we have a light moment coming with the proposal. Not needed. cuts 3/4 of a page. Okay. Oh, there's more. Of course there's. Oh, right. Okay, that's it. Removed stage direction. This isn't a oneer. Left her dialogue, added Marshall saying, with the power vested in me by the state of Mass. Added Alyssa wiping a tear. She loves her brother. It can't just be all jokes. Removed Lillian Ryle, placing the photo on wall. Cheesy. Also removed an entire wall of photos of their life and travels. Some photos okay and will pass on to production designer. Left her dialogue intact. Removed change of seasons time lapse per budget. Need to discuss added in all of the abuse moments and how they will be shot per our production and pre-biz plan. The one that takes us through her memories. This will be a hill I die on. No time for a new idea, and we've spent days and days planning this, workshopping it and pre-biz with stunts. No longer driving through red light mazes. A short scene in the car where she enters, has a moment alone. She can take the action wherever she wants. Ryle builds crib. Need to discuss. Left as is, but that means losing the moment of Ryle touching her belly and then having a moment. Final scene, adjusted the beginning, too much dialogue with Emmy. This whole thing in my mind is MOS, but we'll shoot it for peace. Removed the man bringing such joy to all ages as he makes giant bubbles. BubbleManEC.com or Edmund Leary, aka Uncle Bubbles. We can look for him in extras casting. Hate the couldn't miss you if I tried line, but again, leaving it in for peace. Okay. So Alex Sachs then emails the next day on December 28th. Thank you for this thoughtful breakdown, JB, especially this week, and especially considering the circumstances. I'm free after 2 PT today or before 12 PT. Todd Black, same. Thank you very much. Free before 12 today. Justin then says, hi all, can we hop on at 10 a.m.? I'm free until 11 and then with my kids all day. Todd Black says, yes, I can. And Alex Sachs says, same. It's useful just reading through stuff like that because then you see how bad it was, like the meat and bones of like how bad, and even the small changes to the script. It doesn't sound like a big deal, and it sounds like they did let a lot go, but you know, these emails give us an indication of how irritating it was behind the scenes, how they were having to navigate around it, not just in terms of, well, that line doesn't make any sense, or I don't like it. It's in terms of budgeting, scheduling, you know, just making sense of the story. Every time she made a change, it literally upended the whole thing. All right, so this email involves Jamie Heath, Amin Mezian, and Cynthia Barnes-Slater. Cynthia Barnes-Slater is obviously the HR head for Wayfarer. It's not long, actually, it's quite short. Okay, so Cynthia Barnes-Slater writes, to whom it may concern, this email confirms that the only HR complaint Wayfarer received related to the Enterless production is as follows. A sound engineer who was interviewed for a position on the film in early April 2023 filed a complaint with his union, alleging age discrimination after learning he was not selected. Wayfarer then launched a formal HR investigation engaging a third-party investigator. The investigation found no wrongdoing by the production or by Justin Baldoni. The individual was informed of the findings and later pursued a complaint with the state against both Wayfarer and Justin Baldoni. The state later issued a notice of dismissal officially closing the matter. To be clear, there were no other HR complaints regarding the Ends With Us production or any involved parties. I hope this provides clarity on the matter. Okay. And then Melissa Nathan, and this thread includes Brian Friedman, Jen Abel, Summer Benson, who's a lawyer for Friedman's firm. So is Jason Sunshine and Teresa Troopson. The email is sent to Brendan Jeffreyon, forwarded from Melissa Nathan. Hi, Brendan. As always, we fully appreciate you coming to us to double-check facts. Sharing the below with you, this is a letter from the head of Wayfarer HR sent today in reference to your inquiry. To be clear, there was never at any point to date any registered HR complaints minus the one listed below. And if there was, just like the one below, there would have been a full investigation and all parties would have been notified. I hope this clears it up. So that's just confirming that Blake Lively never did make a HR complaint. And nor can she say, I've seen some people say, oh, well, the one at the penthouse, the meeting at the penthouse on the 4th of January 2024, where Ryan Reynolds berated Justin Baldoni for 6 hours, that was technically a HR complaint. No, it was not. The HR, and no one from HR was there. And if it's a HR complaint, then why is Ryan Reynolds using almost the entire time they were there to scream? He's not an employee. And it was in Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' home. It was not in a neutral setting. It was not in a Wayfarer office. It was never deemed a HR meeting. And I think further on, actually, there is actually emails about that specifically. So we'll get there soon. So the next one is coming from Lindsay Strasberg to Amin Mezian, Joseph Lanius. They CC'd in someone called David Weber. There are other people, but their names are redacted. Okay. Dated 9th of November 2023. Dear Amin and Joseph, with the tentative resolution of the SAG-AFTRA strike, we are writing to address how to handle a return to the set of It Ends With Us. It is no surprise to the film's producers that the experience of shooting the film has been deeply concerning on many levels. The complaints of our client and others have been repeatedly conveyed and well documented throughout pre-production and photography. While we reserve all legal rights at this stage, our client is willing to forego a more formal HR process. So there we go. By her own words, she was foregoing it. In favour of everyone returning to work and finishing the film as long as the set is safe moving forward. In order for our client to feel safe returning to the production, we are attaching a list of protections that will need to be guaranteed and observed by the film's producers. If the production is unwilling to accept or uphold these protections, our client is prepared to pursue her full legal rights and remedies. This letter is not intended to constitute a full statement of all facts and circumstances relating to this matter. It is not intended to be, nor should it be construed as a waiver, release, or relinquishment of any of our clients' rights or remedies, legal or equitable, all of which are hereby expressly reserved. Okay, so this email is kind of negotiations on this is following the return to productions protection thing, and this is kind of the negotiation of what was demanded. It has Amin Mezian, Lindsay Strasberg, David Weber, Joseph Lanius, Jaime Marcello. Dated November 10th, 2023. Hello, Lindsay and David. This is the conference line number. It's redacted, and this is the PIN. Okay. Obviously setting up something like a, I don't know, conference. So Lindsay Strasberg and Jaime Marcello are from Sloan, Opper, Weber, and Dern. I'm guessing David Weber is too. They were the entertainment lawyers for Blake Lively who negotiated her loan out agreements, etc., and also this protections for return to production. So on the 10th of November, on the 10th of November, Jaime Marshall wrote, confirming we will use your conference line for the call in 30 minutes rather than the one I circulated earlier this morning. Then, same day, MSJ says, confirming that we will be using my conference line. Thank you, Jaime. Okay. MSJ, she writes on the 11th of November, Dear Lindsay and David, thank you for sending over the document entitled Protections for Return to Production. We take these concerns very seriously and look forward to resolving them. Wayfarer, Sony, and production respectfully acknowledge that your client has concerns regarding safety, professionalism, and workplace culture. Although our perspective differs in many aspects, ensuring a safe environment for all is paramount, irrespective of differing viewpoints. Regarding your outlined requests, we find most of them not only reasonable, but also essential for the benefit of all parties involved. A response to each of them is below. So, I'm not going to go through them. You can kind of, get, you can pull up the 17-point document and kind of cross reference them. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 were agreed. 7 was agreed, waiting on clarification regarding past filming. 8, 9, and 10 was agreed. Then 11 was agreed with the mutual approval. And Giannetti from Sony has agreed to be present throughout most of the shoot. There may be times when she cannot be present due to other work obligations. In these times, she would delegate another rep from Sony to fill in. 12. We cannot agree. So, let's have a look. I'm just going to have a... Right, okay. What's 12? 12 is Wayfarer will engage an additional experienced A-level producer approved by Ms. Lively to actively supervise the production, including monitoring the safety of the casting crew, ensuring compliance with the schedule, and overseeing logistics, problem solving, and creative issues. And Wayfarer have come back and said, we cannot agree. This poses significant challenges for both Sony and Wayfarer due to the financial, temporal, and contractual implications. We believe that the inclusion of 1. Intimacy coordinator, 8. Professional representative, 11. Sony's representative, and 13. Empowering any existing third-party producer adequately addresses the concerns raised and demonstrates our commitment in continuing to uphold these standards moving forward. Then she agreed to 13 and 14. Wayfarer agreed to 13 and 14. 15, agreed with the understanding that there is a separate character, young Lily, that has already been filmed with the purview of a pre-existing nudity rider. 16, agreed with the understanding that the director may choose to cast someone he may know personally, and the protocol of involving agencies will be followed. 17, agreed. Okay. So then Lindsay Strasberg replies on November the 13th. The list we provided was not intended as a starting point for negotiation. Rather, it is a set of protections that needs to be in place in order for our client to return to work. Please let us know as soon as possible whether Wayfarer will agree to accept all of the protections included in our original communication, including without limitation 11 and 12, with the following additional clarifications. 14. In addition to the stunt double, Wayfarer to engage Blake Lively approved body doubles for both characters for all simulated sex scenes. 15. This requirement applies to any future filming as well as to any footage that has already been shot. 16. We can limit this requirement to scenes involving nudity, partial nudity, and/or simulated sex. And then it looks like Mizian forwards the email to Jamie Heath. Demanding. And now we come to the last one, which is the Alex Sachs exhibit. Involves emails between Alex Sachs and Ange Giannetti from Sony. So I think, yeah, Jamie Heath and Chris Surgeon are also in the thread, as is Blake Lively, whose email is b.deadly@mac.com. They haven't redacted her email, which is fine, but her email is bdeadly. Are you kidding me? I wonder if that's a play on Deadpool. I wonder if it's Ryan Reynolds, really. Nothing surprises me. Okay, so on the 27th of December, now this is arranging the meeting at the Penthouse, where Ryan Reynolds went berserk and screamed at Justin Baldoni for 6 hours. 27th of December, 2023. Be deadly. Oh my God, this woman. Blake Lively writes, "Hey, I hope you and your family had a nice holiday. Would love to set the time for our meeting before we start production. We'll be in town. We'll be back in town." Because don't forget, she scooted off and delayed her return to work even after the protections, etc., back in November, because Deadpool restarted filming again. So she stayed with Ryan Reynolds and made excuses not to have this meeting and start filming back at It Ends With Us until after all that was back, and Ryan Reynolds had wrapped Deadpool and they were all back in New York. "Hey, I hope you and your family had a nice holiday. Would love to set the time for our meeting before we start production. We'll be back in town January 4th. Does 3 p.m. work? We'll host in Tribeca." That's her home. "Happy to have just you. Not sure if Jamie will be on set, but he's welcome. We can also have the whole team, Todd, Ange, and Alex, if you prefer. Please let me know on all." So this was actually sent to, she emailed Justin Baldoni. Right? Justin Baldoni is forwarding, has written back to Blake, and copied in Todd Black and Alex Sachs. "Hey Blake, adding in Todd and Alex. January 4th at 3 p.m. should work. Todd, Alex, Chris Surgeon, RAD, and I will attend. See you then." And we know Ange Giannetti also attended, I believe, yes. I mean, if this meeting started at 3 p.m. and they were yelling at him for 6 hours, you must have been starving. So Alex Sachs then forwards this email, the notice of the meeting, onto Jamie Heath and Giannetti and Chris Surgeon. On Friday, the 29th of December, Ange Giannetti then writes, "I will be in New York and can attend meeting if you all think helpful. Happy to be there." And then from Alex Sachs, replying to Ange Giannetti, "Great." Okay, so then there's a chunk that's blacked out, which I'm sure it's probably filled with what the fuck just happened there. All right, so that is the email so far of Wayfarer, the Wayfarer parties, and like Alex Sachs. So I'm going to leave it there, and I will keep persevering with the video footage and try and get that to work so I can do something with that. But if not, I'm still going to leave a link for Cassidy's video. It's just her video it's very, very long, so you'll have to kind of skip over if you just want the videos. You'll have to just kind of get to there. And there is a lot of commentary. I think the comments said there's a lot of commentary and stuff over the videos, but it's still a lot of good fun. The girls are great girls, really funny. So okay, well, thank you for watching. I will probably go through some of the miscellaneous stuff tomorrow, and then I should be in a good place then to hit the ground running with the opposition from Blake Lively on the motion for judgment on the pleadings. I am keeping an eye out as well for other stuff. I haven't looked for a while, but we've obviously still got the New York Times state Supreme Court complaint against Wayfarer. The responses are due there. We've got the widow of Travis Flores against Brian Friedman and his firm as well in Los Angeles Superior Court. I need to go. I haven't checked to see if there's a response because there's just been so much going on with these main cases. But I will. I'll get the opposition for motion for judgment on the pleadings out the way, and then I'll see where I am there. I think that's a better way to do it. All right. Thank you for watching, and have a really good evening, guys.